the first class, like a little get to know your instructor thing. I have all of these plants over here, and I am literally the person that could kill a plastic plant. So this year, 2020, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to do better with the plants, and I'm having like, you know, a little bit of somewhat good, definitely better than it's been. Like, I mean, I haven't legit killed any plants, but some of them aren't looking so great, but other ones seem to be thriving. But I'm part of this little plant Facebook group or whatever, and it's actually, I just joined it recently, and it's a pretty nice plant. I think it's called like house plants, or I don't know what it's called, Pacific Northwest. And somebody had posted on there that they have a subscription service where you get like a plant a month. So you know they have all those box services, like you can get like whatever, you know, every month delivered to you. Apparently there's a plant one. So I was trying to tell my husband, I was like, oh, that would be a good gift for me, because this way, if I kill one, I've got another one coming next month. It's all good. Today's practice, we're going to we're going to be working in the hips. We're going to be working in the legs quite a bit. So lots of low lunges today, lots of poses coming from a low lunge. We'll do a couple of planks, a couple of chaturangas. As always, you're just going to pick and choose whether or not you want to do those. But we will get the body pretty active. By the end of the practice, you should feel more awake. You should feel a little bit more invigorated. Your body obviously will feel a little bit more stretched out. Props for today, 2 blocks would be great, especially if low lunge doesn't feel great to you. It's nice, maybe instead of bringing the arms all the way up, you can have the hands on a block as you come into your low lunge. And then additionally, if you have issues with your knees and stuff, you may want to place a blanket or something under the knees. My dogs are looking at the door, so that must be my husband's in the other room because they're looking to come in. All right, let's start our practice. Go ahead and come to any position that feels most comfortable to you. So maybe that's a reclined position, maybe that's a seated position. If you do choose to come to a seated position, just be aware you don't have to come to crossed legs here. Your legs can be long, whatever feels best to you. You can also always sit on a block. Sometimes that's much more comfortable, just bringing the hips over the knees. Again, feel free to come to a reclined position if that feels good to you. And once you've done that, I want to invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to begin our practice as we begin all practices, just coming to our natural breath. As we begin to come to our natural breath, the breath reveals things to us. Are we holding tension? Are we holding stress? Do we feel distracted? Do we feel relaxed? Do we feel, finally, it's time for yoga? Whatever it is, just acknowledging that sensation and taking note of it. Noticing the volume of breath as you breathe in. Noticing the volume of breath as you breathe out. Taking another breath in. Maybe taking a mental snapshot here. What does the breath feel like inside the body? How much space is it taking up? What's the sensation of it? Does it feel sticky? Does it feel smooth? Does it feel stuck? Does it feel tangled? Just noticing, taking a mental snapshot. We can compare that to later on. And again, just following and finding that beautiful rhythm of the beautiful natural inhale and the beautiful natural exhale. Mindfully, what can you release here? What can you soften? Come a little deeper into relaxation. Can you maybe soften the face, soften the jaw, maybe relax the shoulders? I want you to draw your attention to the heart space. I want you to notice as you breathe in the heart lifting towards the sky. And the softening of the heart as you breathe out. Drawing your attention to the front of the body, the front of the rib cage. As you breathe in, feeling the rib cage expand, feeling the ribs and the lungs and the heart all lift up towards the sky, filling the lungs with breath. Gently softening as you exhale. Taking another round of breath just like that. Taking in a few more sips of air. And then the recoiling of the body. Everything coming back to center. Let's move our attention to the sides of the rib cage, the sides of the body. As you breathe in, feeling the space in between the ribs. Letting the breath fill that space. And gently softening as you exhale. Over these next 2 rounds of breath, focusing solely on the sides of the body. We're going to redirect our attention to the back of the body, the back of the rib cage. As you breathe in, feeling the rib cage press towards either the mat or the earth or maybe the wall behind you. Again, gently, everything softens as you exhale. Let's take another full round of breath, just like that, really slowing the breath. Let's redirect the breath down towards the belly. As you breathe in, filling the lungs, but allowing the breath to descend towards the belly. Let the belly become a little bit more full, a little bit more round. And of course, softening as you exhale. Breath travels up and out. On your next breath in, allow the belly button to reach up towards the sky or towards the wall in front of you. Really let the belly become full, become round. And then gently, with your eyes closed, watching the belly button descend back towards the spine. Letting all of the air exit the body. Next breath in, again, full round belly. Feeling the rib cage expand, the lower ribs, feeling the belly button press away, feeling the waistline, allowing the breath to travel all the way down the torso. And then gently releasing. Next breath in, fill the entire torso. So filling from the rib cage, from the collarbone, all the way down to the waist, letting all of the air enter the body. And continuing to exhale, letting go of anything that doesn't serve you or your practice today. Next breath in again, filling the torso. Maybe making a comparison to when we began, that snapshot of the breath, to now. Maybe there's a difference, maybe there's not. I'm just noticing. On your next exhale, let everything be heavy. Feeling weight in the shoulders, weight in the arms, the weight of the bones in the legs, and the tailbone, letting everything melt towards the earth. Next exhale, really feeling yourself becoming one with the earth, one with the mat, really grounding yourself. Next exhale, feeling stress and tension melt off of you, feeling it melt off of your skin, seeping to the earth, letting it disappear down the arms, down the fingers, from the toes and the ankles. And continuing that over these next two rounds of breath. Feeling the tension leave the mind. Feeling the tension exit the body. If you're in a reclined position, go ahead and bend your knees and then gently roll over to your side, coming to a fetal position. Gently place your palm on the earth, bring yourself up to a seated position, whatever feels most comfortable to you. If you've been in a seated position this entire time, maybe just reverse the legs. And then whenever you're ready, on your inhale, bring your hands all the way up towards the sky. As you exhale, prayer hands come down to heart. We're going to do that 2 more times. Match your breath to your movement. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, hands come to heart. Again, really exaggerating that breath. Inhale, hands come all the way up. Exhale, prayer hands come down to heart. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, I want to invite you to do so now. Your intention can be a mantra, a prayer, a dedication. When you're ready, gently bring your hands to your knees. Take a breath in. Feel the tailbone ground towards the earth. Feel the skull rise up towards the sky. Feel some length in between your spine, holding here as you exhale. Taking another breath in. On your exhale, let's gently twist towards the left, maybe looking over that left shoulder. Next inhale gently brings you back through center. As you exhale, we're twisting to the right. Same thing here, maybe gently twisting towards that back shoulder. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale, pass through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, pass through center. Exhale, twist. Let's come back to center. From here, let's find our way to a tabletop position. Let's stack our shoulders over our wrists. Knees are going to be hip distance apart. I'm going to talk you through quite a bit more as we come to the right side of the body. When we come to the left side, I'll cue less and we'll just flow a little bit more. But from your tabletop position, I want you to press your hands into the earth. I want you to, again, try to stack those shoulders over the wrists. Fingers are separated from one another. Nice flat back. Neck is nice and long, just looking towards the top of the mat. On your inhale, drop your belly, bring the tailbone up, shoulder blades come together. We're coming into our cow posture. So you should literally feel like you could move here. That would feel like a natural sound that you could make. On your exhale, you're going to press your way into your cat pose. So you're going to press into the hands, bring that belly button in, bring the chin towards the chest. Let the shoulder blades roll to the sides of the body. Now from here, very gently bring your hips back, maybe about 1 inch or 2. I want you to start feeling that stretch along the spine. Really press your hands, maybe press into where the pinkies are, the side of the palm. Just allowing everything to stretch here, feeling a nice, beautiful stretch along the spine. You're going to make your way back into your tabletop. On your inhale, you're going to come into cow. And on your exhale, you're going to come into cat. Let's go ahead and just go through about 4 or 5 of these, moving at your natural space. Maybe you start to deepen the inhale, deepen the exhale, letting the posture follow. As you deepen into that cow posture, maybe the chin starts to trace up the front wall. Again, just a suggestion. That doesn't mean that that's happening. Next time you come into cat pose, maybe find some organic movement. Maybe bring the feet from side to side. Maybe gently press back, just wagging the tail. Maybe you're making circles here. Maybe you're making figure eights. Anything that feels good to you and to your body. Just gently warming everything up. When you're ready, let's come back into our tabletop position. We're going to walk our hands a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. I want you to have the fingers separated here. And what I want you to do is notice where your pressure is in your palms. So if you're pressing into the lower part of your palm, that's essentially called dumping into your wrist, and that's going to cause you some issues, and we don't want to do that. So what I want you to do is, with the fingers separated, bring your hips forward a little bit. Now press into your finger pads. Notice that difference. Notice taking the pressure off of the wrist here. From here, let's go ahead, curl our toes under, lift the kneecaps, lift the hips, coming into a downward facing dog. Take any movement here that you need to. So maybe you're bending the knees, maybe you're pedaling out the legs, whatever feels good. As always, you're going to figure out what feels best for you when it comes to dizziness. So if you feel dizzy, look towards your thumbs, look at the mat right in front of you. No issues with dizziness. Maybe have the ears in line with the biceps. Look towards your ankles. From here, let's go ahead and lift the hips up just a little bit more. Go ahead, bring those heels towards the earth. Just really feeling the back of the body here. Maybe press the earth away. Really waking everything up. When you're ready, let's go ahead and lift that right foot. Step that right foot forward. Bring that left knee down, up, untuck the toes. We're going to rise up into our low lunge. Again, if that doesn't feel great to you and you have blocks, you can rise up, just bring your hands down to the blocks. So whatever feels best for you. From your low lunge, ideally biceps, if your hands are raised or in line with the ears, I want you to bring those hips down just a little bit more. From here, let's gently cactus the arms. Bring the shoulder blades together, gently look up. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, let's bring the hands back down to the earth. Curl those left toes under, step that right foot back, come back into your downward facing dog. From here, let's gently lift the left foot, step the left foot forward, bring that right knee, come back into your low lunge. Again, bring those hips down. From here, cactusing the arms, gentle back bend. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, make your way back to your downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, let's go ahead and roll up to our plank position. Let's all bring our knees down. So in our plank position, as always, just making sure that those shoulders are over the wrist. Turn those elbows in towards one another, up towards the top of the mat. Take a breath in. Bring that belly button in towards the spine. As you exhale, gently lower everything down. Take an inhale, looking at your mat. Exhale, you're coming into baby cobra or full cobra. Baby cobra, elbows are bent. Full cobra, arms are extended. When you're ready, bring yourself back down. Curl those toes under. Maybe come back through that tabletop position. Bring yourself back to downward facing dog. From here, let's go ahead and lift that right foot. Step that right foot forward. Bring that left knee down. Come back up into your low lunge. From your low lunge here, let's go ahead and come to prayer position. Give some space in between your hand and the chest. You want to have that. I want you to feel your hands pressing together. Even though the thighs aren't together, I want you to feel the thighs merging towards one another. So as you're pressing the palms together, press into that front foot, feel the thighs activating. From here, we're going to add on a twist. You can either just twist at the waist if that feels good to you. Otherwise, on your exhale, let's bring the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, right knee. Let's bring the heart towards the thumbs. Pressing those palms together, pressing into our feet, looking past that right elbow. Remembering to breathe. Next, inhale, untwist the torso, rise back up into your low lunge, bring those hips down. As you exhale, make your way back to your downward facing dog. Lift that left foot, step it forward, bring the right knee down, low lunge. Bring those hips down. Hands come to prayer position. Take a breath in. On your exhale, twisting to the left. Bring that heart towards the thumbs. Remembering to breathe. Next, inhale, untwist the body. Come back up to your low lunge. Bring those hips down. From here, step back into your downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, let's roll back up to our plank position. Now you either have two knees down, one knee down, or no knees down. Take a breath in, really press that earth away. As you exhale, you're lowering down. You're going to rise back up into baby cobra, full cobra, maybe upward facing dog. Upward facing dog, everything's off the earth except for the palms and the tops of the feet. On your next exhale, make your way back to your downward facing dog. From here, let's lift that right foot, step that right foot forward, bring that left knee down, rise back up into your low lunge. As you exhale, we're going to open up T-shaped twist. So we're going to twist towards the right, open up the body, maybe looking towards that back thumb. Remembering to breathe. Trying to connect the thighs. Next inhale, come back up to your low lunge. As you exhale, hands come down. Step back into your downward facing dog. Lift that left foot, step that left foot forward, bring the right knee down, low lunge. On your next exhale, T-shaped arms, looking towards that left thumb. Inhale, come back to your low lunge. Drop those hips. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe rolling up through a chaturanga, maybe not. Always just an option. When you're ready, let's bring those feet towards our hands, land in your forward fold. If you want to bring the earth closer, go ahead and just have that block in front of you. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up into your upward salute. As you exhale, gentle back bend here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up into your upper salute. I want you to go ahead, grab hold of that left wrist. As you exhale, gently side bend to the right. Now you're either going to look down at that right side of the mat, or maybe you're going to look up over the left bicep. Next, inhale, come up. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Warming up the spine. Rise all the way back up into your upward salute. Grab hold of that right wrist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's go ahead, step back into a plank position. From here, I want you to really activate your core. So you can have your knees down. I want you to bring that belly button towards the spine. I really want you to press the earth away. Really let those shoulder blades come to the sides of the body. We talked about this before, but I want you to imagine that you're activating the Kegel muscle. So the Kegel muscle is as though you were urinating and you're trying to stop the stream of urination. Do that now, and then bring that up. Drag that up towards the belly button. Now you're activating your core. When you're ready, let's all bring our knees down. Let's press back into a child's posture. So you can have your knees towards the sides of the mat. Bring the hips towards the heels. Otherwise, maybe knees are together, whatever feels best for you. Arms maybe are extended long. Maybe the elbows are bent off the mat and hands are closer to the head. That's more restorative. Anytime you're in a child's position, always a beautiful opportunity to come back to your intention. When you're ready, make your way back into your tabletop position. Take a breath in on your exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, lift that right foot, step that right foot forward, bring that left knee down, low lunge. We're going to come into a revolved crescent lunge. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands down. Left hand's going to plant, right hand's going to lift. We're going to try to stack the right wrist over the right shoulder. Right shoulder's over left shoulder. So really looking up, maybe trying to make sure that you're not opened too far. We really want one nice, beautiful, long line here. Maybe lift that right hip up just a little bit more. Remembering to breathe. When you're ready, bring that right hand down, curl the left toes under, step back into your downward facing dog. Let's just go ahead and set up for the opposite side. Lift the left leg, bring that left foot forward, right knee comes down, low lunge. Bring those hips down. Exhale, revolved crescent lunge. Right hand plants, left hand lifts. Lift up that left hip. Nice, beautiful stacking here. When you're ready, bring that left hand down, step back into your downward facing dog. From here, if you want to take a chaturanga, by all means, feel free to do so. If you choose just to stay in downward facing dog, I want you to lift those hips up a little bit higher. Maybe bring those heels down just a little bit more. When you're ready, this time let's lift that left foot, step the left foot forward between the hands, hop the right foot just up a little bit, 45-degree angle. We're rising up into a warrior one. So just for a little reminder, let's look at our feet. Ideally, we're somewhat heel to heel distance. If there's a lot of distance between our feet, we're going to feel unbalanced. So we really want to make sure that we're staying as grounded and as balanced as possible. We have that left knee is bent right over that left ankle, and then sometimes that right hip wants to move in the direction of that foot. What we want to do is make sure that the hips are even with one another. Both hips are facing the front of the room. Arms are up. We're going to roll those shoulders down. Bring those shoulder blades together. Palms are facing one another. I want you to press into that right foot just a little bit more. Nice. From here, let's transition into a pyramid posture. We're going to bring the palms together, pointer fingers are out. We're going to straighten that left knee. On your inhale, I want you to feel your heart lift. I want you to feel the belly button towards the spine. As you exhale, we're hinging forward. Your hands are going to land wherever they land. So they might come all the way down to the earth, they might not. Maybe you have more flexibility than me. Maybe you're going to grab hold of the back of that calf and bring your head to the shin. Or maybe you're hanging out midway. It's all yoga, it's all good. From here, feel that belly button and come towards the earth a little bit. Towards the earth, towards your spine. Just make a little bit more room as you exhale. Maybe you hinge just a little bit more. When you're ready, bring those palms back together. Ideally, biceps are in line with the ears. You're going to gently bring yourself all the way back up. Land back in that warrior one. Have that bend in your knee. On your next exhale, let's open up to warrior two. Let's walk that back foot back. So now that foot is at a 90-degree angle. We're always going to check in with our bodies as soon as we land in a posture. So we want to look at that back arm. Make sure that that hand is the same distance from the earth as the front hand, right? So from here, let's go ahead and bring the shoulder blades together. So maybe roll the shoulders up slightly, bring those shoulder blades together. From here, bring that belly button in. Maybe the same thing as we did a moment ago with that Kegel exercise. Draw it up, really activate the core here, and then press into your feet. From here, let's find our drishti or our gaze. It's going to be over our front fingertips, our left fingertips. Really focusing on those three fingers, so much so that maybe everything else becomes blurry. From here on your exhale, I want you to just press into that left knee a little bit more. Really press into your feet here. Really become active. Really starting to notice those inner thighs. When you're ready, on your inhale, flip that front palm. Exhale, come into a reverse warrior. So either your arm is going to come straight up, or maybe it bends a little bit more. If you bend the arm back a little bit more, what you're doing is stretching the side of the body. So you're going to figure out what's best for your practice today. Same thing here. Maybe it feels better to look down at the mat rather than looking up. You're going to do what feels best for you. One last option is taking that right hand, maybe bringing it around the back of the body, bringing those right fingertips to the front of the left hip. That's just really opening up the right shoulder. So a little added here, but that's again only if you want to. When you're ready on your next exhale, nice, super strong warrior two. From here, windmill the arms down, step back into a downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, maybe roll up through a chaturanga, maybe not. You're going to make your way back to downward facing dog. We're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Let's lift that right foot, step it forward, gently hop the left foot forward, rise up into your warrior one. Making sure both hips are towards the front of the room. I want you to really press into that left heel. Bring the hands together, straighten the right knee. Feel the heart lift, belly button comes in. As you exhale, come back into your pyramid. And one side of the body can feel really different than the other. Maybe you have more flexibility here, maybe you don't, maybe it's the same. It's all yoga. Next exhale, maybe melt a little bit further. When you're ready, bring those hands back together. Ideally, biceps are in line with the ears. Land back in your warrior one. Next, exhale, warrior two. Same thing here. Check that back arm. Bring the shoulder blades together. Press into the feet. Bring that core activation. As you exhale, sink into that right knee. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Again, making any adjustments here that you would like. Exhale, warrior two. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Maybe find a chaturanga, maybe not. Beautiful. From your downward facing dog, let's go ahead, lift that right foot, step that right foot forward, come back into your low lunge. Bring those hips down. From here, let's bring the hands down. We're gonna walk our hands towards our hips. I want you to bring your toes up. So what we're doing is we're stretching the right hamstring here. So bring your head towards your shin, if possible, but this is what you wanna be feeling, this right hamstring waking up. Go ahead and walk your hands back to the top of the mat. Rise back up into your low lunge. We're gonna do the exact same thing on this side, except for this time we're gonna have our feet towards the earth. So take a breath in. On your exhale, bring those hands down. Walk your hands towards the hips. Toes pointing towards the mat. Now what we're doing is we're stretching the top of the shin, the top of the foot. Maybe that head comes towards the shin, maybe it doesn't. Remembering to breathe. That's when you're going to create the space, is that beautiful exhale. Bring those hands back up. Curl those toes under. Step back into your downward facing dog. From here, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Bring that left foot forward. Come into your low lunge. Bring those hips down. Exhale, hands come down to the sides. Come down to the mat to the sides of the foot. Walking those hands back. Toes are up. When you're ready, bring the hands back. Come back into your low lunge. Maybe you look up. Exhale, hands come down. Same thing, half split. Toes are towards the earth. Bring those hands back up. Come back up into your low lunge. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. From here, maybe take the chaturanga. Beautiful. Still working on these hips. Let's go ahead, bring that right foot up in between the hands, bring that left knee down. What we're gonna do here is untuck the toes. Rather than come into a low lunge, we're gonna come into what's called dragon in yin or lizard in yang yoga. Let's walk that right foot towards the right side of the mat. Now if you have a block, I want to encourage you to use a block here. And you can have this block on whatever setting you want. Maybe it's on the first setting, the lowest, maybe second setting, the middle, third setting is the highest. Or maybe your hands are just on the earth. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your hands so that we're not really dumping into our wrists or dumping into our palms here. What we're really focusing is on this right hip, right? We're working the legs here. So you're going to figure out what feels best for your posture. Maybe you have a nice flat back and you're just looking towards the top of your mat. Maybe you bring the hips down and you look up towards the wall in front of you. Just noticing that difference, and then honoring your body and doing what feels best for you on this day. There is no competition, there is no, ego. It's really just honoring where you're at in this moment. And then come back to your breath. And then what can you soften in your body? Can you release some of the tension maybe in your shoulders? Can you release some of the tension in your arms, maybe in your chest, maybe in your belly, maybe in your face? So that your upper body's not doing the work here, rather the lower body is what's doing the work. Now from here, you can either stay here because this is enough. Otherwise, maybe this right knee starts to open up a little bit. winging our knee. And just coming back to your breath. That beautiful breath is what's going to create more space. So imagine as you breathe in, the inhale is just chipping away at that tightness, at that tension, at that rigid sensation. And then the exhale just carries that stuff that chipped away, it just carries it away. So now suddenly there's a little bit more space there. Now you're either going to stay here because this is enough. Otherwise, maybe you're coming down to your forearms. Again, you can use your block here. Just make sure you're doing it safely in a way that you don't feel wobbly. We're going to be here for just a few rounds of breath. And then watching, witnessing this beautiful inhale and exhale. So as in our practice, we've started with maybe like a shortened inhale and exhale as we began. Then we elongated that, brought some relaxation, some fluidity. Then we brought it back up with all of our low lunges and our downward facing dogs and our planks and stuff. It's just beautiful orchestrated breath, really just paying attention to that. It's just such a gift. We always take it for granted, but really looking at it in a new way. And then if you're on your forearms, let's go ahead and come back up to our hands. If you have that knee winged out, let's very gently bring that knee back up. From here, let's very gently walk that foot back in. Once we've done this, let's go ahead and find another half split. So we're going to walk our hands towards our hips. You're going to determine what feels best. Maybe it feels better to have the toes down. Maybe it feels better to have the toes up. Whatever you do on this side, that's what you're going to do on the other side as well. When you're ready, go ahead and bring those hands back up. Curl those toes under, lift that left kneecap. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Now in your downward facing dog, you might come right back to that. For me personally, I prefer to come into a three-legged dog before I come into my downward facing dog. Just I feel like it opens up my hip a little bit more. When you're ready, let's go ahead and roll up to a plank position. Go ahead, come back into your plank nice and strong. Press that earth away. Let those shoulder blades come to the sides of the body. Pressing into your palms, into the top part of your palm, into the fingers. On your next exhale, press your way back up into your downward facing dog. When you're ready, lift that left foot, step it forward. Same thing here, we're bringing that right knee down. Maybe we have the block. If you use the block on one side, maybe you use it here. If you didn't use the block before, maybe you need it here. So just figure out what your body wants. The block is never means that you're not doing it well enough. It means that you're being smart. So always, always use the block. From here, when you're ready, maybe we walk that left foot over. Reposition the hands. So for me, one side of the body feels different than the other. So right here, I definitely prefer to not have the block, but on the other side, I really enjoy the block. So, again, just figure out what feels best for you here. And just returning back to that beautiful breath. Again, noticing what feels best for you. Are you looking at the top of the mat? Are you looking at the wall or the screen in front of you? And then when you're ready, maybe that left knee starts to open up. From here, maybe you come down to the forearms. And then wherever you're feeling tension, maybe guiding the breath back to that space. Kind of like we were talking a few moments ago about letting that inhale kind of chip away. Your next exhale, maybe the belly softens, maybe the heart softens. Again, just suggestions. And then if you're on your forearms, let's go ahead and come back up to our hands. We're gently going to bring that knee back in. We're gently going to walk that foot back in. And once again, let's come into that half split. If you raise the toes on the first one, raise them here. If you didn't, then don't. And then bring your hands back. Curl those right toes under. Make your way back to a downward facing dog. Again, taking any movement here that feels best for you. From here, let's go ahead and roll up to our plank position. Let's lower everything down. From here, let's go ahead, bring our arms long to the sides of the body. Bring your left cheek to the mat. Maybe you bend the knees, maybe you windshield wiper them back and forth. And then go ahead and bring the feet down. From here, let's bring the nose towards the mat, then go ahead and bring the right cheek to the mat. I'm just taking a couple of breaths. When you're ready, bring your nose back towards the mat. Bring your hands to the sides of the chest. From here, press your way back, maybe through that tabletop, and make your way back to your downward facing dog. We're going to come into our pigeon posture. When you're ready, let's go ahead and lift that right leg up. Maybe let's come into three-legged dog if that's accessible. Bring that right hip all the way up. From your three-legged dog, maybe bend the knee, stack right hip over left hip, even out the shoulders, coming into a half scorpion. Just really stretching the front of this right hip. When you're ready, make your way back to three-legged dog. We're going to bring that right knee up, all the way up towards that right wrist. Bring that right shin down. Gently bring down the left knee. Walk that left foot forward. We're going to stay in our upright pigeon pose. We're maybe trying to even out the hips here. You can always take the block if you feel like your right hip is super far away from the earth, or if this feels uncomfortable, maybe bring that block underneath for some extra support. You can also bring the hands to the block, always another beautiful option. If this is completely inaccessible to you, go ahead and roll over to your back. And once you do that, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to cross your right ankle in front of your left knee. And then you're going to gently bring your left knee towards your chest. You can let that left foot just hang out on a block if that feels better for you. Otherwise, you can interlace your fingers behind that left thigh or maybe in front of that right shin. So the exact same posture, just a reclined pigeon versus an upright pigeon. Now for those of you who are upright like I am, before we lower it down, we're going to do a quad stretch. Let's go ahead and bend our left knee and flex that left foot. Now this might be enough for you, and if it is, I want you to stay right here. Otherwise, maybe you're going to grab hold of that back foot, and you're going to decide what feels better to you. You can use your left hand to grab hold of the left foot, or you can use your right hand. I think the right hand is the bigger challenge. I'm going to use my right hand just because it allows me to still look towards your direction. If you have chosen to grab that foot, maybe look back towards the back corner of the mat. Now from here, if you want an additional stretch, you can bring that heel towards the glute. Not necessary, just an option. And if you did bring that foot towards the glute, let's go ahead, release it from the glute. Let's all gently release our foot back down to the earth. Bring your hand back to the top of the mat. From here, we can go ahead and lower it down. You can come down to your forearms. Always a couple options here. You can stack forearms over one another, bring the head to the top of the hands. Another option is just having the forearms on the earth. Maybe you're in prayer hands, or maybe you take a block, place them between your hands, and let the head rest onto the block. Whatever feels best for you is what I want you to do. We're going to be here for just a couple of breaths. Maybe softening the belly here, softening the chest, softening the face. Really sinking into this posture. If you're on your back, maybe bring that left knee a little bit closer towards the chest. And if you are reclined on your back, really soften the upper body. Really release any tension from your jaw, from your shoulders, from your arms, from your back. Just let the hip do all of the work. If you are on your back, go ahead and bring that left foot back down to the earth. Uncross that right ankle, bring that right foot down. Maybe just gently windshield the wipers back and forth. If you are on your recline, like pigeon that I was doing, let's go ahead and come back up to our hands. Gently curl those left toes under, lift the kneecap, come back into your downward facing dog. Again, take any movement here that feels good to you. We're going to set up for the opposite side. So maybe you're taking a chaturanga, maybe you're just pedaling, maybe you're just in stillness. But whenever you're ready, we're just going to do the opposite side. So we're going to lift that left foot, bring that left knee forward, walk that right foot back. Same thing here, making any adjustments. Realizing one side, of course, very, very different than the other side, right? So my left side, I've shared this before, is completely out of sorts. Nothing like my right side. So I have to baby the side quite a bit more. I just want you to, again, take ownership of your practice. It's your practice. It's perfect no matter what it looks like. Just honor your body. If you're laying on your back, you've crossed your left ankle in front of your right knee. Same thing as you did before. Maybe you're bringing that right knee towards the chest. Same thing here before we recline down. Maybe we're bending the right knee and flexing the right foot. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we're grabbing hold of that back foot. Maybe we're bringing the heel towards the glute. We're coming back to our breath. If the heel is towards the glute, go ahead, bring it away from the glute. We're all going to release the foot back down to the earth. Settle in. When you're ready, maybe you come down to your forearms. Soften where you can soften. What else can you do to surrender into this posture? Can you take a nice exhale? Can everything melt? If you're on your forearms, let's go ahead and come back up to our hands. If you're laying on your back, go ahead and uncross that left ankle from the knee. Bring the feet down. Maybe windshield wiper the knees back and forth. The rest of us are going to make our way back to our downward facing dog. If you want to take one last chaturanga here, feel free to do so. When you're ready, those who are in downward facing dog, let's go ahead and bring our knees down. We're gonna just ease our way past a tabletop. We're gonna have our feet at the top of the mat. Our knees are gonna be bent. We're gonna be reclining down here. I want you to grab a block if you happen to have one. And from here, let's go ahead, just bring our back down to the earth as well. We're gonna come into a legs up the wall pose. So a couple of options here. One is just to gently bring your feet up towards the sky. You can always do legs up the wall, up against the wall. It's a beautiful, beautiful posture. I highly recommend it. Maybe find some time in your day today to figure that out. If this doesn't feel great for you, I personally love placing a block under my hips. So you just have the knees bent, lift the hips, bring the block underneath the hips, bring the hips back down. Making sure that you're not on the sacrum or on the low back in any way. And then when you're ready, maybe make sure you're untucked to your shoulder blades, and then bring your knees up or your feet up. Once you come into your legs up the wall pose, maybe find a couple of breaths just in stillness. And then maybe from here, maybe we press the heels towards the sky. Again, really just awakening the hamstrings. And then maybe point the toes towards the sky. Maybe you pedal the feet. Maybe you just press. Maybe you're still in stillness. Maybe make circles with the ankles. Whatever feels good to you. We're here for just a breath or two more. When you're ready, let's all bend the knees, bring the feet back down to the earth. If you place that block under your hips, go ahead, gently release that block. Gently bring the hips back down. From here, if you have that block, I want you to just place it towards the right side of the mat. Lift your hips, bring them towards the left side of the mat. As you exhale, bring the right knees down. Maybe the right knees are going to land on the block. That might feel really good to you. It might feel better to have the knees on the earth, so you just do what feels best for you. And then from here, maybe you're in T-shaped arms or cactus arms. Maybe your gaze is towards the left, and your eyes, of course, can be closed. Gently go ahead, bring your gaze back to a neutral position. Bring those knees back up. We're going to lift the hips, bring them over to the right side of the mat. If you use the block for the knees, go ahead and move it back over to the left side. When you're ready, on your exhale, knees fall to the left and gaze goes to the right. When you're ready, gaze comes back to neutral. Let's bring those knees back up. Let's bring our hips back to a neutral position and then bring the knees towards the chest. From here, maybe coming into happy baby, maybe rocking to the right and to the left, maybe just making some circles, as small or as large as you would like with the knees, whatever feels good to you. And then if you're making circles, go ahead and go the opposite direction as well. We're all going to bring our feet back down to the earth. Let's go ahead and roll over to our side to a fetal position, and then bring yourself back up to a seated position. Again, coming to whatever seated position feels most comfortable to you and to your body. Once you come to that seated position, let's go ahead, again, ground our tailbone to the earth. Stack the shoulders over the hips. Allow the crown of the head to reach towards the sky. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you to do so. Palms can either be on the knees or palms can be faced up. Take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's say 2 more rounds of breath just like this. I want you to draw in mind the intention that you set for your practice today. Finding gratitude for this beautiful gift of breath, this beautiful gift of life, this new day, and this new opportunity. On your inhale, hands come all the way up towards the sky, and as you exhale, prayer hands come down to heart. It is always an honor, a blessing, a joy, and a privilege to guide you in your yoga journey. Peace be with you, my friends. Namaste. Thanks a lot.